Rich Eisen runs his 40-yard dash in a suit. Who do you think would win in a 40-yard dash? Rich Eisen, Donald Trump, or Hillary Clinton?
Oh, that's easy. That's easy money.
Who's going to win?
Hillary.
Rich, you better step your game up.
I knew he was going there.
Wow. Well, because clearly, if I run in the suit, T.O., and I've got wind shear with my suit, Trump would have the wind shear with his hair. So that opens the door for Hillary. Wouldn't you agree, T.O.?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, the way you're looking right now, you look like you've been on Castaway with this
beard?
look. Yeah, you're looking a little rough today.
I'm talking to volleyballs all the time these days. It's crazy.
Man.
That's the way I feel without football season. I feel like I'm on an island.
So
sometimes.
you're saying your suit isn't aerodynamic and there would be some wind resistance?
No, I'm just using it as an excuse.
Okay.
I'll just flat out admit it.
I'm sure those two presidential candidates would have plenty to say about that.
Yeah, I'm sure they would. Terrell Owens is here on the set with Eric Davis for a couple of minutes here while Eric is with us. And T.O., you were at the Kids' Choice Sports Awards at Nickelodeon for the show. So thank you in advance. Thank you again for that. We'll talk about that in a matter of moments. But I guess we might as well talk Cam Newton here. How'd you see him? He looks like he was relaxed, fun, having a good time, right?
Definitely had a smile on his face. Definitely happy about where he is and the off-season training. Not the Cam Newton we saw post-game after the Super Bowl, but he's fired up about this season.
Right. And what do you think of the Panthers' chances to repeat and do what they did last year, Eric?
I think you definitely have to count those guys as one of the lead contenders in the NFC to make it back, the leading contender, because Cam Newton is so young. I think we forget how young a player he is. He can still get a whole lot better. I think Cam can. I think he can act. He stands in the pocket, and we can watch these highlights, and he just rips the ball, and his base isn't set. I mean, he can get better at reading defenses, route recognition, timing. Footwork can get better in the pocket. I mean, he can still get better, don't you think?
Absolutely. You know what? He reminds me of a Donovan McNabb. You know, Donovan McNabb, he had that upper body strength where, again, feet not set and really just ripped the ball. And I think Donovan could have been a better quarterback than he was had he really kind of worked on his footwork, because some of his mechanics were off. The ball was a little inaccurate, you know, at times. But that just shows you what type of athletes they are. They're big, they're strong, and they can just, again, their upper torso, you know, they can just rip that ball at anywhere on the field at any given time.
And how about coming into a season where he's known as the MVP? Do you think that that's going to help, hurt?
I think the motivation, just by the way that they lost in the Super Bowl, is going to help Cam.
How so? How so, T.O.?
I think mentally, because I think, you know, they had all the components to win that game, but I don't think they were really prepared for the speed of the defensive front of the Denver Broncos, and that took them off guard.
The offensive line was the weakest part of what they had going on last year. But as far as Cam coming into the season as an MVP, how do I think that's going to affect him? I don't think it's going to bother him at all. I think Cam, for a long time, has been accustomed to believing that he's the best player on the field. You know, when he was in college, he was the best player out there. I think this is something that he expected to happen.
Absolutely.
So I don't think it's going to bother him playing with that. So I think some people that may come as an added pressure, but I think that's a pressure that he's already put on himself.
Right. He welcomes that. You know what I mean? That's what. You know what I mean? I think offensively they're going to be fine, but you know, what do you think about, you know, they lost their system cornerback?
I didn't think they were going to keep him.
By the way, just so for the radio audience, he used air quotes.
He did. He went air quotes. Yeah. I didn't think they were going. You always want the good players on your team, but that defense. And when when the market first started, I didn't think they were going to give him top dollar. And reason why that defense is not built around its corners. There are some systems like Denver. It's built around your corners.
So you're saying you think he's a system cornerback?
No. I don't think he's a system corner.
No,
I don't think he's a system corner. But what I do think is that their defense is not built on their corner play.
Right.
So that's why they say we can put another guy out there.
I think they're going to run into some issues.
I think they're going. Of course, it's going to affect him because he's a good player. But that's the reason why.
But the reason why he was expendable, you're saying, well, in a way, is that they don't rely defensively on their corners, and also, and I think I'm getting to what you're kind of saying right here, Tio, they didn't want his mouth around. Now, which is
no.
You don't think they didn't? They didn't want it around?
No, I don't think it was that. You need somebody with that type of personality. That's who makes Josh who he is.
Right.
Again, like I said, you don't have the guys like the Deion Sanders, again, where you're building, defenses around like those phenomenal athletes. But to say this guy's a system corner when he's pretty much facing the best receiver every week.
Well, why then would he be viewed as expendable?
Because
he's that good.
He's that good, but you can only put so much money into a unit. So now you have to look at how much money do you want to put into that? Do you want to pay him the $15 million a year when you know that their defense is built off of their front four and their linebackers? That's how it is. They play a trap system outside, and when you have your corners playing in a zone system like that, in a two-deep system, the way they are structured is for it to be their front seven, and the guys on the back end, they're playing a shell, or a two-deep shell. Mm-hmm. They feel like you can get away with not having a top 5 corner.
Well, that's
what they're thinking, because everything is built on the inside of their field.
I don't like when the GMs and they come out and say that after a guy's played so well for you all year. It brings me back to when LeBron left Cleveland, and the owner comes out and says these negative things about him when he's done so much for your organization. I mean, for a guy like Josh, dude, he's deserving of a big payday, and to try to kind of muddle up the negotiations by calling him a system cornerback.
Yeah. Well, the part of it that I hate when it happens with a player is Josh Norman is one of your guys. He's a small school guy that was drafted later
from the state, by the way,
that you developed. But see what happens? They hold that against you because you still. I went through that. I was a Division II guy. And no matter what I did with the Niners, I was always viewed as that small school guy.
Yeah.
Even you make the Pro Bowl. It's like, okay, well, you're not a starter yet. Well, I am starting. Well, you haven't gone to the Pro Bowl. I made a Pro Bowl. You haven't made All Pro. No matter what you do, they always find something else.
It's negotiation. Small school guy.
That's what happened to small school guys.
I didn't get my payday either.
So it's. They
hold that against
you. That is something that they held against him. They never viewed him as that top-notch corner because they still remember having to bench him. They still remember when he didn't understand the defense, when they couldn't put him on the field. They always hold those things against you.
Well, now we'll see what happens. In the same way, too, by the way, this is similar to when Roethlisberger was starting out in Pittsburgh, and he had a coach in Cowher who remembered having to, teach him the ropes and have him go through the growing pains. And now Tomlin comes in, totally different story.
Yes.
When Tomlin comes in and he's already a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Yeah, they always remember the things you couldn't do when negotiations come.
I hate that when guys are owed or deserving of big paydays. You guys were talking about Von Miller. This guy's deserving of a big payday. You look at what they just paid Andrew Luck. He missed half the season. Didn't do anything. But look, he got a $100 million contract. And look, this guy's the MVP of your team. If they don't have Von Miller in that defensive front, they don't win the Super Bowl. That is a fact. They weren't relying on Peyton Manning. That championship was won defensively, namely Von Miller.
And I think they'll get a deal done with Von Miller.
I do
but
too.
It shouldn't take this long. It shouldn't be dragged out.
But again, they're going to hold. But still, they're going to hold against Von Miller. Just 2 seasons ago. Okay, just 2 seasons ago, you were suspended.
6 games.
6 games. So those type things, they hold them. It's the business. So that's the thing about it. When we take off our players' hats and we look at it from the other aspect of it, when they start the negotiation, that's what they're going to pull out. What's to say? Okay, we understand that you've been on the straight and narrow, but what's to say that won't happen again? You can never erase it from your resume.
Well, anything can happen. Anything can happen.
And that's why they're trying. That's why they're trying to get the real money. You know, because we know the $100 million contract, a portion of that, unless you're a quarterback, is monopoly money.
I got to take a 60-second break, and when we come back, I'm going to talk to T.O. about his time yesterday at the Kids' Choice.
Oh, you do that.
And then you come back. Will you
Love
come
the
back?
kids, man.
You guys talk.
No, the two of you guys are great
And
together.
then
I got to get the two of you guys back in studio.
I'll come back whenever, man. Just let me know.
Eric.
I'm glad I got invited.
Eric Davis.
Are you going to run the 40 at the Legends game? I was told you are.
Yeah, at the Rams?
The
I'm
Rams
still
game.
running 4.4. I ran a 4.49. I'm still running under 4.5.
But were you clocking yourself? I'm just asking.
Let me tell you
I'm
something.
just asking.
For anybody who wants to doubt me, if you guys
I'm
want
not.
to put your
That
clock
wasn't
to the
a
test,
doubt. That was a question, T.O. That was a question. That
I
was
can
a
play,
yes
I can
or
play
no.
right now, and I give you the business right now, ED.
That was a yes or no.
It doesn't matter.
Who's clocking you?
We're back in 60 seconds here on the
It
Rich
matters
Eisen
a
Show.
lot.
No, it doesn't. Whether I clock it or somebody else.
That Rams Legends game that Eric Davis mentioned before he left with you, sir, Terrell Owens, you're both going to be in it with former Rams players competing head-to-head against a team of NFL All-Stars, that being you, on August 14th at the StubHub Center in Carson, California, and you can go to ramslegendsgame.com for tickets. So you're going to be out there balling?
Yeah, it should be fun, man. It should be fun.
And you clocked
And just to answer
Eric's
question.
He hit and ran, by the way.
Exactly. It's all good. That's what they all do. You know, whether it was clocked by somebody professional or by myself, it's still under a 4.5, regardless.
No, but when he's saying you time yourself, it seems like you.
I'm pretty good I'm pretty fast if I can run and time myself.
So you.
I'm pretty.
So you're
fast
running with the stopwatch in your hand?
I didn't time myself. But if I did, that's pretty impressive.
What was Ali's line? He'd turn off the lights and be in bed before,
exactly.
before it was
That's
dark.
Before it's
right.
dark.
That's
I
some
like that.
Muhammad Ali stuff right there.
So you and the bearded one, Law, went to the Kids' Choice Awards.
Was that
yesterday.
you or
Law.
Chris?
Law.
'Cause
Yeah,
you're
you don't
the
like
bearded-
this. You don't like
You're
this.
the bearded one. That's a little rough, Rich. that's a little rough. What is your wife saying about that?
She likes it.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, that's all that matters.
She likes it.
I
But
mean,
she does. But she doesn't like me like
I thought Tom
scaping
Hanks had filled in. Was filling in for you to tell you. I had to take
Wilson. Yeah. I hear you. I'm taking out a tooth with an ice skate blade. So who did you see? Steph Curry and all those guys?
Yeah,
Those
Steph Curry was
hoops guys?
there. Andre Drummond.
What did you think of all the money that got paid, that the NBA All-Stars, that the NBA players were getting paid in this free agency?
It's ridiculous. And that's why, again, I chimed in on with the Von Miller stuff. It's like, football players should really take a step back and assess what's going on with this NBA money. They can get paid the same thing. All they got to do is get together, lock out. Make the owners pay them.
What do you mean? So 5 years from now, say we are going to completely change this system. We want money. We want the system the same way that the NBA.
Absolutely. The
is set
players
up.
union, all those guys, they need to kind of assess what's going on over there, so these guys can get paid just as handsomely as these NBA players are getting
Well,
paid.
it's just there's a pool of players.
Right, but why is it
There's
always
53 football players.
right?
There's
But now, I'm
12
not saying,
NBA players.
Right, I'm not saying everybody should get paid those large sums of money.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at it on a larger scale, like there are guys like Von Miller. He shouldn't have to go through an offseason where he's dragged out for a contract negotiation when it's obviously deserving for what he's done on the football field. And you have a guy like I said, not knocking anybody's pay, but Andrew Luck didn't even finish half the season. And he got his deal done with no.
Well, it took a long time, but it wasn't something like where.
You're right. It wasn't. There wasn't any negative. No, there was no tension with the negotiations.
Look, man. I honestly am one of those where, personally, when it comes to me, I like it when management comes to me years in advance and we don't go to the deadline. And
right, exactly.
Nobody wants to go to the
Why
deadline.
does it have to be played out like that?
It's a great
publicly?
question.
You
I
know
don't
what I mean?
know. Other than
It's not fair. Like this guy, again, came off an injury, regardless of what he did in the past. Like everybody has changed. I mean, he's a better person, obviously a better player. You know what I mean? You can't hold that against him. I mean, look at what he done. Like I said, if he didn't play the way he did, like they don't win that Super Bowl.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. He and DeMarcus Ware, with those edges, really was what put Cam in a tough spot in that Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
That and Jonathan Stewart getting hurt, they stopped the run. Yeah. Right. And now you're hearing, Sanchez is going to be their quarterback.
Good luck with that. I mean, Sanchez may come out and surprise us. You never know.
You never know.
You never know.
I know. You never know. 844-204-RICH, there's a phone call for you. We're going to take that when we come back, okay?
Okay, cool.
Terrell Owens is here. And then at the top of the next hour, we check on all the news around the entire sports world, including there is something Brett Favre-related retirement news.
Correct.
Please tell me he's saying that his speech at Canton will be an unretirement speech. Please tell me that.
After the break.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, man.
Welcome back to the Rich Eisen Show. The Terrell Owens is here. We'll take some phone calls in a moment. T.O. was at the Kids' Choice Sports Awards that airs Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern on Nickelodeon. Your work, T.O., will be on Monday's edition of the Rich Eisen Show. Go to RamsLegendsGame.com for tickets to watch T.O. and some NFL All-Stars. That includes Eric Davis as well as Drew Bledsoe. Brian Bosworth will be in that game.
Oh, wow.
How about that? Yeah. Going against Rams legends like Kurt Warner, Marshall Faulk, Torrey Holt. Eric Dickerson is coaching. You go to RamsLegendsGame.com to see that August 14th at the StubHub Center. As well, the British Open going on right now. Phil Mickelson still leads by one stroke through 2 rounds. And the best way to watch all the action this year is on the Open Championship on DirecTV. Channels 701 through 705 all the way through to Sunday. 4 channels of coverage throughout the tournament, plus a mosaic channel and an interactive features, enhanced scorecards, in-depth player stats, and more. DirecTV, channels 701 through 705 all the way through the weekend. Ryan in Kentucky, you're on the Rich Eisen Show with Terrell Owens. What's up, Ryan?
Hey, thanks for taking my call. Love your show, first of all. Second of all, T.O., thanks for all the great football memories. Completely awesome. My couple of questions are, one, today's NFL seems to be a lot faster-paced game. How do you see yourself playing in today's NFL? 2, who do you want throwing you the ball? Who is your guy? Who's your quarterback? And the third question is, who on the defensive side do you just want to take to school and show them you are the man?
Thank you, Ryan.
Man, you went from 2 to 3.
Those are infused. Those are very infused.
Yeah. I mean, I could definitely compete with the guys. I mean, I don't think the pace of the game is any different for me. Again, with the receivers, there's not a lot of contact as it was back in the day. So, I mean, I feel like I would be able to, fare pretty well.
Okay. Who would you be? Your quarterback, we all know.
Quarterback, anybody that can get me the ball, it doesn't matter, I played with it. I know I heard the sniffles. I heard the sniffles. Again, I played with a number of quarterbacks, and I felt like, no matter who was back there, they got the ball to me. I did my best to catch it and do what I did after the catch. And so as far as me taking them to school, I always like the challenge. Not really. So
no one in particular you want to toast up?
Again, you talk about some of the top corners in the league. You talk about Darrelle Revis. You think about Patrick Peterson. You talk about Richard Sherman. Yeah. These are some of the guys. I got a chance to go against Sherman and Browner when I was in camp.
That's right.
For a short stint. Those guys were bummed that I got released. I mean, those guys knew that I still had something in the tank. Again, not playing for a year and a half. You got to knock some of the cobwebs off. So that's what I was going through there.
All right. So thank you for coming in. I appreciate it.
I'm going already.
You have such a good time. I mean,
man, this is almost about as fun as the Kids' Choice Awards. I'm enjoying.
Without the slime?
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Definitely without the slime.
Yeah. Did Kobe get slimed yesterday?
Oh, you got to just check.
Kobe was the legend.
He got
legend award.
He just didn't get slimed.
He gets the gold.
He has
right?
some special slime.
Yeah.
That's fun, man.
Golden slime. And he was a good sport about it. I don't know if he was – he's a good actor if he didn't anticipate that.
Oh, he's got to know it's coming.
But
he's throwing out those clothes, right? Like you don't dry clean or wash those, right?
I mean, he had some nice shoes.
Some nice shoes on.
Yeah, he had some all red Jordans. Those were nice.
Oh, he did, huh?
Yeah. Had on the Bruce Lee No Fear shirt. Yeah.
But someone had to have told him that was coming.
Oh, of course. He's got to know. It happens to every legend every year,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
Jeter last year, David Beckham the first year.
Man.
Yeah, and next year it'll be Matthew Dellavedova, right?
Probably David Ortiz.
So Ortiz. Oh, Ortiz. Okay.
How about the host though, Russell Wilson? I think he said this is his second time hosting.
Yeah.
He did pretty damn
Yeah,
good.
he's
Not
like
bad.
the Billy Crystal of the Kids' Choice.
Sierra and Gronk dance off.
Yeah.
Did that happen?
Happened.
Yeah, it happened. It all happened.
T.O., thanks for coming on. Already look forward to the next time.
Right.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.